And once the butter is melted, I'm then going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour. You can use all-purpose flour, but if you are gluten-free, you can use rice flour, and that will too thicken your roux. So I'm gonna melt the butter. And by the way, welcome everyone for joining us for our first Zoom class. We'll be hosting a culinary class every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So today we're making the easy as 1, 2, 3 mac and cheese. Next week, we'll actually be making creme de ricotta, a fresh cow milk cheese. So we hope you'll join us again. So I'm melting the butter here. And while we're melting the butter for the roux, I'd like to let you know that you can use any milk of your choice for this recipe. It's very, very optional for you to use cream, regular milk, low-fat milk, rice milk, soy milk, almond milk. As long as you use 2 cups of milk with your roux, that will thicken and give you a nice base Alfredo sauce. So we have our butter melted. I'm gonna add in the flour. I'm gonna switch from a spoon to a whisk. And once the butter is melted and the flour is blending in, Ben, would you like to come look at the roux mix? It gets a little golden, which is good. It gives a little flavor. So see how we have our butter melted? And I have a little bit more butter to melt with the flour, and it's browning. And then Ben is my husband, also the tech gentleman. And Oz, thank you for moderating and directing our video. Oz Robledo. So over here, Ben, we have 2 cups of milk, which I did a blend of cream, whole milk, and half today. We have 2 cups of pre-shredded cheese, and I used Jack, and I used some Toma from our local cheese producer, Vella. And over here, we have sauteed green garlic. I have salt, black pepper, and I decided today we would add oregano and a little chili flakes to our mac and cheese. So Ben, our roux is complete. I'm now gonna add in 2 cups of milk. And again, this recipe, you can use any milk you would like, rice milk, soy milk, cow milk, even goat milk I've made this recipe with. And if you're gonna choose to make a gluten-free, you're welcome to use rice flour and also a gluten-free pasta. So over here today, we did elbow macaroni because it was on sale and it's a delicious pasta that kids love. So we cooked it according to directions. We cooked it for approximately 7 minutes, drained it, rinsed it, and I did toss it with a little bit of olive oil so that it doesn't stick. You don't have to do that at home. So the sauce is starting to thicken from the roux. I'm going to add in the cheese now. I'm going to continue to whisk the cheese into the milk. And while it's melting, I'm going to add in the black pepper, pre-measured ½ teaspoon, pre-measured ½ teaspoon of salt. I use kosher salt. You can use the salt of your choice. I added in 1 teaspoon of oregano and a sprinkle or maybe a ¼ teaspoon of chili flakes for a little spice. And now I'm going to sprinkle in our green garlic. So while our sauce is thickening, it mixes in the flavors. So while this is thickening, basically the milk is going to come to a slight simmer, and then it'll melt the cheese, and then we'll add in the pasta. But this sauce is so easy to make that you can make it as a family with your kids, and it's delicious. And you can use up your leftovers that you have in your home. If you had bacon for breakfast and you have a couple strips left, crumble it up and sprinkle it in. And then you can have a bacon mac and cheese. I've sliced country ham. You can add in, one of our family's favorite is to make the mac and cheese and then pour chili on top, whether you make a chili or you use a can of chili. You can go back there now. So this recipe is really meant to be a base Alfredo mac and cheese recipe for you to enjoy at home. And Oz, would you like to open up to any questions?
All right, everybody.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
All right, folks. Here we go. I've unmuted everybody. Let's see, Carmen, and we have Janet. I've unmuted your audio in case you guys have any questions for Sheana while she's mixing up this delicious mac and cheese.
I don't have any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you for having the class. I think it's great.
Oh, thank you. You're very welcome. We're going to do this every Wednesday at 11.
Great.
And so I know I had a couple questions from friends that emailed for this recipe was, what cheese can you use? And I just want to point out that I have a bag of the Costco cheese that we can all order online. You know, we can use a nice jack cheese, cheddar cheese, mezzo secco from Bella. Really use up all your scraps of cheese. This recipe is so easy and forgiving that you can't really mess it up and it turns out delicious. I also want to point out about the milks we mentioned. You can use any milk of your choice. You can use the cow milk, goat milk, rice milk. We've made it with hemp milk. So it's very optional. It's a great recipe to use up scraps of goodies in your kitchen and make a nice mac and cheese. Quite melted and cheesy and delicious. Would you like to come with them?
Sheana, this is Emily. I have a question.
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Hey
so I have some almond flour and also like randomly gluten-free like old mill flour from a while ago. Would either of those swap out too?
Yes, you can use rice flour, almond flour, and the way to tell if your flour is still good, give it a nice smell. Don't inhale it, but if it smells like cardboard, then you don't want to use it. But if it really smells like grains, it's still a fresh flour.
Great. Thank you.
And you'll know a distinct cardboard smell.
Yeah.
And basically because it's been stored on your shelf for a couple months or a year or two, and that's when it gets that smell.
Okay. Great.
Same with polenta and cornmeal. So I recommend storing your grains in glass jars or plastic jars at least. And then get some blue tape or masking tape. And when you pour it in, I always cut the lid off the top of the box, put it inside and seal it and date it on the lid when I put it in the jar.
That's a great idea.
So we have a delicious mac and cheese. I'm going to move off the flame and move over here, because now you can choose to dine and enjoy this mac and cheese right now in a nice bowl. And I'm going to do that. And this recipe, I don't know about you, but if any of you have like a half a bag of one pasta and a half a bag of another because you didn't use the whole bag, cook them each separately, then mix them, because some pastas cook longer or shorter. But this is a great way to use up your ingredients in your kitchen. And that's what really made me create this easy as 1, 2, 3 mac and cheese. So there's the mac and cheese if we were going to sit down for lunch right now. But I have a pie pan here, and the recipe has enough butter and cream in it that it really won't stick. But if you want to spray it with a non-stick spray, and then fill the pie pan with your mac and cheese. And this is a great way to make 2 meals in one. If you have a family of 4, you can have lunch, and now you can have dinner tomorrow night, and you simply cover it and keep it in the refrigerator overnight, pull it out, and then you'll bake it in the oven at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes, and you have baked mac and cheese, and you choose to sprinkle crumbs over the top, maybe some bacon. You can even sprinkle just a little handful of extra grated cheese, and you have a delicious baked mac and cheese. Oz, does anybody else have any questions?
All right, folks, I've unmuted you. If you have any questions, feel free to speak up, and Sheana will get to you.
Okay, well, I guess before we close this recipe out, I just want to review the recipe and give you your options that you can use any pasta of your choice, even if you make your fresh pasta, which on our website, we'll have the fresh pasta recipe coming up. The mac and cheese recipe will email to you after the session on Zoom. But again, to go over the recipe, use any pasta of your choice, 1 pound. And then you'll use 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of the flour of your choice. So Emily, use up that rice flour, or you can use all-purpose flour. Then you'll make your roux. You'll add in 2 cups of milk of your choice. And you can use whole milk, cow milk, soy milk, goat milk, 2 cups. And then whisk it till you get a thickened sauce. Add in your 2 cups of grated cheese. And again, the cheese of your choice. You can even add a little bit of cream cheese if you have some left over. This recipe will accommodate just about every cheese possible. Then you'll melt your cheese. You'll stir in your pasta. And that's when, right before you stir in your pasta, if you want to add any ingredients, green onions, crumbled bacon, your choice. Stir it together, season it, taste it, make sure it tastes good. You might need to add a little salt or pepper, maybe a spice of your choice. In the summertime, I add fresh basil. And then we stir it all together. Have a nice warm lunch, make a pie pan full so you can bake it off the next day for dinner. So I want to thank you all for joining us for our first Zoom class. I'm Sheana Davis at the Epicurean Connection in Sonoma. I'd like to thank Oz and Emily Robledo for hosting and directing, and my husband Ben Sessions for handling the camera. And we will email the recipe out to you, and I hope that you'll join us next Wednesday at 11 o'clock for how to make a hands-on creme de ricotta cheese class. So thanks again for joining us, and I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.